Please note that this content is for educational purposes and for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. More details available in the description box. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime, and today we are watching day 2 of the Megan Boswell trial. This is the afternoon session. Thank you so much for waiting for me. Most days we don't split it up into 2, but today we had to because I was conducting an interview. So I will be sharing that with you if you're watching live with me right now on Sunday. I think it will be February the 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern. So make sure that you are subscribed with your notifications on so that you don't miss that, okay? I look forward to sharing it with you. So let me bring up the trial exactly where we last were. Here we go. We're going to get everything really quickly here. I just pinned it where we were, and we're just going to carry on, okay? So last we saw was the CPS witness, and now we're going to continue from there. So let's put the sound on and keep going.
State your name. State your name.
Casey Saults.
You solemnly swear from testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, ma'am?
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Your name is Casey Saults, is that correct?
Yes.
And where do you live?
Casey Saults. How would we spell that, Grizzlies? How would we spell her name? Casey Saults, I'm going to guess.
In Elizabethton.
Okay. Do you know the defendant, Megan Boswell?
Yes.
Can you tell us how, and I'm going to ask you to maybe go just a little bit closer to that microphone so we can catch your voice. Thank you. Tell us how you know Megan Boswell.
She was a foster child to my parents.
Okay. And what is your mom's name?
Gail Kite or Patricia Kite.
Okay. And so did Megan Boswell live with your mom, Gail Patricia
Yes.
Kite, when she was pregnant with Evelyn?
Yes.
Okay. And did she also have Evelyn while she was living with your mom?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see Megan Boswell in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you point her out to us, please?
She's right there.
Okay. Can you describe what she's wearing, please?
A blue jacket, navy blue jacket.
Okay. Your Honor, we'd ask the court to acknowledge that. She's identified the defendant. Okay. So during this time frame, are we talking about 2018 and early 2019? Or do you, and you may not know the answer to this, when she was living with your mom?
I'm thinking it was just 2019.
Okay.
So this lady, Casey Saults, says Megan was a foster child to her parents. And we only really heard about that from opening statements when it was the defense that said, well, they kind of threw Tommy under the bus by saying, oh, you know, that Megan was so close to her dad. Well, she wasn't. She was in foster care when she had Evelyn. That's what the defense said. So now we're hearing from Casey, who said her parents were foster parents to Megan.
Let me ask it this way. Do you remember when Megan gave birth to Evelyn?
Yes.
And where were you working at the time?
Premier Pediatrics.
Okay. And obviously we probably know the answer to this, but what is Premier Pediatrics?
A pediatrician's office.
Okay. And where was Premier Pediatrics located?
In Johnson City.
Okay. Do you remember how many, is that place still open?
No.
Okay. That's why I'm asking in kind of in the past tense. It's now closed, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. How many pediatricians were working there at the time?
2.
Okay. And what were their names?
Dr. Pugh and Dr. Trosen.
Okay. And what was your job description there?
Receptionist, front office.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about what your job duties were at that pediatrician's office?
Scheduling and making appointments, answering phone calls, medical records, all the front duties.
Okay. Would you check people in?
Yes. Check in, check out.
Okay. Okay. And were you able to like see the waiting room when people would come in, or would they come up to the window and check in? How would that work?
They would come into the waiting room, they would come into the front office to the window and check in, and then we had 2 separate waiting rooms, one for well visits and one for sick visits. You could kind of see in there from where we were from the doors open, but to actually like see in there, you had to get up and walk in there.
Okay. After Evelyn was born, is this the office that Megan Boswell brought Evelyn to for her well visits?
Yes.
And when she would bring Evelyn, would you know when they came into the office?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that based upon what you just told us about how the office runs?
Correct.
Okay. Based on your experience of that office, can you tell us what your office schedule was for newborns? Like, how often would they come in?
They would come in like once a month for the first couple of months, and then we would kind of space them out to every 3 to 4 months until they were about 2 years old, and then they would come once a year.
Okay. So for that first year, is it common for them to come more than once from 0 to 3 months?
Yes.
What about from 3 to 6 months? How often would they come?
I'm thinking it would be about 2 to 3 times within that time frame.
Okay. What about from, say, 6 to 9 months?
Probably just once at the end. I think by then it was like every 3 months.
Okay. And same for 9 to 12 months, it would be just one visit? Okay. When a newborn and a baby in that first year, would they always, when they came to the office, would they always see the same doctor, or would they?
We would try to keep them with the same doctor just for continuity of care.
Okay.
But if that doctor was unavailable, the other pediatrician would also see them too.
Okay. And did Premier Pediatrics keep records of visits on their patients?
Yes.
Was that done on every patient?
Yes.
Including the records of Evelyn Boswell?
Correct.
Okay. And since you worked in the front, were you aware of whether that office did any kind of reminders for patients to remind them of appointments?
Yes. They would get like an automated call the day before.
Okay.
And we could see if they answered or replied back to that.
Okay. So you could kind of see if they said, yes, I'm coming, or no, I need to reschedule, or whatever.
Correct.
Okay. Did your office also give appointment cards out?
We did.
Okay. And when would that be done?
Usually when you check out for your previous appointment, we would schedule the next one and give an appointment card.
Okay. And after Evelyn was born, did Megan Boswell bring her to her scheduled appointments?
Yes.
We got an objection, but so she did take her to appointments initially. Obviously not after she went missing. That would be one of the red flags as well. There were many red flags, but okay. So initially she did. I wouldn't be surprised at this point if they said no, right? Stuck on String said, was the baby photo in the top corner taken by Evelyn's foster parents? Evelyn didn't have foster parents, right? Megan was her mom, and she was always with Megan until just days later she was murdered. So it's a beautiful picture that Grizzly Cat found of Evelyn, right? So thank you to Grizzly Cat for that. Let's see how long this one is. Maybe we can go forward. Okay. Yes, Hippie Mimi says, I wish she did have foster parents. She may be alive today. Court Lurker says, they're still on sidebar here, they said she was in foster care when pregnant. Yes, Megan Boswell had foster parents, but not Evelyn. So the question was about, did Evelyn's foster parents take this? No. Well, she didn't have foster parents. Her mom was Megan, and she was with her all the time until she wasn't, right? So that's what I was answering there. Okay, so if anyone wants to know who's speaking, there's a banner on top there. Casey Saults, direct. Please like and share so others know I'm live again.
Okay, we're just going to ask for some clarification on that. When I asked that last question, Did Megan Boswell bring Evelyn, and I'll ask it in a different way maybe, did she bring Evelyn to her normal appointments for, say, the first weeks that she was supposed to bring her? Did she bring Evelyn to those appointments?
Yes.
Okay. And did she continue to bring her to appointments up until a certain time closer to the end of 2019?
Yes.
Okay. For her 12-month visit, is that something that would have been scheduled at Evelyn's last appointment, her previous appointment?
You're right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And okay. And so we asked about the appointment card. Do you recall anyone babysitting Evelyn during that same time, around early December?
Yes.
Okay. Who babysat Evelyn?
My aunt,
Okay. What was her name?
Sue Whitson.
Okay. And is that your mom's sister?
Correct.
Okay. And do you know when she babysat Evelyn?
I don't know like the exact dates, but I do know that she kept her a few times.
Okay. Do you know what month that was in?
In early December.
Okay. And do you recall receiving a photograph?
Yes.
Okay. What was the photograph of?
Evelyn's had a really bad diaper rash.
Okay. And that's a photograph that you saw yourself
Yes.
of Evelyn? Okay. Can you describe what it looked like?
Really blistery, and you could kind of see like on the sides of her legs where she had been scratching, possibly some scratch marks.
Okay. Since you're working at a pediatrician's office, did you show that to anyone?
I did show it to one of the nurses. I don't recall which nurse I had showed it to, though.
Okay. And you're not going to be able to say what they told you, but then what did you then tell your Aunt Sue about what she needed to do with Evelyn?
Objection. I think we're getting far-afield here.
I'm not asking to elicit hearsay. I'm asking what she told.
Oh dear, we can't see them, so I think they're doing another sidebar.
Did Megan Boswell bring Evelyn to her 12-month well visit?
No.
And a 12-month visit would have been on November 21st of 2019. So she didn't take her to that visit. That is a red flag. Her dad, Megan's dad, last saw Evelyn on Thanksgiving, which was November 28th, which was just a week later. And I mean, then you add another week to December 6th is the last time that Evelyn was seen alive.
I'm going to pass you a document and see if you can identify it. Okay. Do you recognize that?
Tamara says early December, watched her a few times. Evelyn has been missing since December 6th, right? That's what the state said. So I'm wondering if they mean from when she was born. You know, like the year before, like when she was only a month old or so. I don't know if they mean that, or if they say early December, wow, that really must have been like, if they're talking about 2019, because Evelyn was only 1 year old. She was 12 months old, just almost 13 months old. You know, Robin, that's a question I have too. Who was the last to see Evelyn on December 6th? Because Megan told police she last saw Evelyn on December 26th, the day after Christmas. And remember, the media then said, well, what did you buy for Christmas? That was a good question. So I don't know exactly who saw Evelyn on December 6th. I'm hoping in this trial we'll actually learn. Thank you so much, Court Lurker. Okay, that's good.
That?
Yes.
Do you recognize the handwriting?
Yes.
Whose handwriting is that?
That is mine.
Okay. And do you recognize what that document is?
Correct.
And is that a fair and accurate representation of what it looked like when you produced that document?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, we'd be asked for that to be admitted as exhibit number 63.
My bad.
Okay.
What is it? The reminder card?
Yeah. Permission to publish to the jury, Your Honor. Okay. Okay. Can you see that okay? Is that the appointment card that you wrote on for Megan Boswell?
Yes.
And for the appointment of December 5th, 2019. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And she didn't take her to that one.
So when she did not show up for her appointment, what did you do?
I texted Megan.
Okay. So you had her contact information?
I did.
Okay.
Where she was part of the family, we did keep in contact.
Okay. And how would you contact her?
Through Facebook Messenger, mostly.
Okay. And had you communicated with her before on Facebook, or was this the first
Yes.
time?
No, I've
Yeah.
communicated with her before.
Okay. And is that how you reached out to her that day?
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass you another document. And I'm going to ask if you recognize that.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell, without telling me what it says, can you tell me what it is?
It's the text thread of off of Messenger where we were talking.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate representation of your conversation via Facebook Messenger with Megan Boswell?
Yes.
Okay. We'd ask that to be admitted as exhibit number 64, Your Honor.
Any objection?
It's like lurking on the defense's laptop. What are you looking at there, sir? What's happening? Okay.
No, sir.
The full
Remember there was a time when Megan also made up a story or told a friend a story, or I don't remember exactly who said this, but where Megan was saying that Evelyn's arm was broken, or was it her boyfriend Hunter that said that on the media interview? Something about her arm being broken. So that makes me worry about, what could have happened to Evelyn in the days leading up to her murder, because she didn't go to that appointment, this checkup on December 5th, but she was last seen alive on December 6th. So there was no real reason for her to not go to that appointment. She met Hunter, Megan, on December, she said she started working at that chicken shop on December 2nd of 2019. So on December 5th, why are you missing that appointment? What is happening, right? Jay said, best maps in true crime. Thanks for all your hard work. Oh, thank you so much.
exhibit 64.
Permission to publish?
Go ahead.
Your Honor, we've got a few more of these. Would you like for me to leave the Elmo up until we're done? Okay.
Stand by, everybody. It's time for a YouTube disclaimer. This is public record. It's an exhibit or evidence shown at a public trial. They are not showing any information that's not supposed to be shown, or doxing anyone, or sharing phone numbers that they are not supposed to share. It's part of a court case at a murder trial. It's 5 years in the making. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So obviously that's your name on the left. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so then Megan Boswell's is in blue. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And can you tell us what you said, the message that you sent to Megan that day?
that Evelyn had an appointment today. Do you need me to reschedule it? It was for her 1-year baby check.
Okay. And then what did Megan Boswell say in response?
That she had thought it was the next day.
Okay. And then I'm missing part of that. What did you say in response to her?
I had asked her where she was,
And what was her response?
that she was working.
Okay. And I meant to ask you, the date is December 5th, 2019?
Yes.
Okay. And this would have been after her appointment, after she'd already missed the appointment?
Right.
Okay. And did you reschedule her appointment?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And do you recall when you rescheduled it?
I don't recall the date, no.
Okay. I'm going to pass you.
Okay. It's going to speed it up. They're going to show
I'm
more
going to give you
text
a second
messages.
to read through that. I believe it's 2 pages.
That's where we're going to go forward now.
That is also being part of. Okay. And do you recognize that as also being part of that conversation?
Yes.
Same day.
Does that go into the date of December 11th as well?
Yes.
Okay. But that's to be that collective exhibit number 65.
The full exhibit 65.
Yes, sir.
So,
Permission to publish?
go ahead.
Okay. Ms. Saults, I'm going to go through 1 page at a time of this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is the day after that first missed appointment, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell me the date of this conversation?
December 6,
Okay, and what do
2019.
you, I'm sorry,
December 6, 2019.
and what
That's the day Evelyn was last seen alive.
do you ask the defendant, Megan Boswell?
What about the baby's appointment today?
Okay, and what does Megan say to you?
That she says I had to come in. I've been called in since 4:30 a.m. I'll have to reschedule it. That she'd been working crazy hours.
Okay, and what did you ask her?
Where she was working,
And what did Megan Boswell say?
the chicken place.
And then what did you tell her in response?
To just tell me a day when she can come for sure.
Okay. And then did she respond to you?
Yeah, she said that she'll figure it out and that she is working all day tomorrow.
Okay. Is this a continuation of that same conversation?
Yes.
Okay. And then what do you say back in response to Megan Boswell?
I told her it was okay. I just didn't want her to get too far behind on her shots.
Okay. And does the next conversation start on December 11th?
Yes.
And is that started by Megan Boswell to
Yes.
you? Okay. What does Megan Boswell say to you?
She's asking if her dad or Ashley can bring Evelyn for a doctor's appointment because she had been working really hard from
Okay.
4:30 to 6:30.
Okay. And does she say that she's staying past 6:30?
Oh, yeah, it does say. And then she's staying after to clean, too.
Okay. And what is your response to her?
I told her that, yeah, it was fine, that they could bring her. Do I need to make an appointment?
And then what does Megan Boswell say to you?
That when her dad wakes up, she'll ask him if he can.
Okay. And the last page of this exhibit. Are we still on December 11th, 2019?
Yes.
And then what do you say in response to her?
I asked her, is she sick or does she need, is it for the well child visit?
Well, at the top, I think you responded to her first at the very top.
Oh,
Okay,
we
is that
went
was
over.
that on this slide? Okay, go ahead. So you say to her, is she sick or for her well child check?
Yes,
And what does she say to you?
for her well child.
Okay. And then what do you say back to her?
I said, okay, I'll look through the schedule and see when I can get her in.
Okay.
see you all asking now as well. Me too. Who saw Evelyn on December 6th? We don't know yet. It's just what the state alleged in their opening statements. But I'm looking forward to finding out in this trial.
Okay. Do you recall if you rescheduled that for a date?
I want to say that I did, but I don't remember an exact date.
Okay.
I'm trying to find your comment now. Trial TV Live is here. You said, hello, my friend, at Grizzly True Crime, stopping by to give you some love. Thank you so much, Trial TV Live, for being here with us for a bit. I know that you also stream a lot of trials, so I appreciate you popping in here and saying hi.
I'm going to pass you one last set of photographs. I'll give you a second to read through them. Okay. And are you able to identify that?
Yes.
Do you recognize it?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
It's more of a text thread off Facebook Messenger.
Okay, what is the date of that
December
conversation?
10th of 2019.
Okay, and is that also a fair and accurate representation of your conversation via Facebook Messenger with Megan Boswell?
Yes.
Your Honor, we'd ask that be made exhibit number 66.
No objection.
Before Exhibit 66. What was the date again?
December 13th, 2019, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Permission to publish.
Go ahead.
Again, I'm going to show it to you one page at a time. Okay, so you said the date on that was December 13th, 2019, is that right?
Yes.
And what do you say to Megan Boswell?
Is Evelyn coming today?
Okay. Is that because she had an appointment scheduled for that day?
Yes.
Okay. And then what did you say?
I had said
Actually, I should ask you this. Did she respond to that message at all?
no.
Okay, so then what did you say?
I said I need to know. Dr. Pugh is asking. She's not happy about her missing these appointments.
Okay, and what did Megan Boswell say in response to you?
That she was going to switch her pediatrician to somewhere closer.
Okay.
Oh my word. So when challenged, well, hello, you've now cancelled. She missed an appointment, rescheduled, didn't make it, said she was working and cleaning the shop and all of that. December 13th, 2019, the state alleges Evelyn was last seen alive December 6th, right? So December 13th, Evelyn coming today? I need to know. Dr. Pugh was asking. She's not happy about her missing this appointment. And Megan's response is, I'm switching her pediatrician to closer. Oh, wow. Okay.
And does she say anything else?
That she could pay for missed appointments or whatever.
Okay. And then what do you say in response?
I told her no is okay. Dr. Pugh is just worried about y'all. She said it's not like y'all to miss appointments. That was a typo. She was asking me if I knew what was going on.
Okay. All right.
Dr. Pugh had a hunch. You know, it was a gut feel, I would guess. Like, what is happening? This is not normal. Why is she not coming to these appointments?
How long did you work at Premier Pediatrics?
Probably a little over 4 years.
Okay. And during that time, I'm assuming, like, children would switch pediatricians. Is
Correct.
that a fair statement?
Yes.
And when they did, would you get record requests from the new doctor?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get a record request from another pediatrician for Evelyn Boswell?
Not to my knowledge.
from any other doctor's office for Evelyn Boswell?
No.
Is it typical, based upon the time that you were there for 4 years, typically would you get a request from another doctor to get their vaccine records, etc.
Yes.
of the child? Okay. And I'm assuming you've met Evelyn yourself, is that right?
Yes.
Do you recall the last time that you saw Evelyn alive?
November 28th of
Okay.
2019.
Okay. So it had been just a little bit after she turned 1, is that right?
Yes.
Do you remember where you were?
At my home.
Okay. And do you remember why she was there?
I think Megan and Evelyn were going to visit with my parents, and they were busy, so she stopped by to visit with me.
Okay. So she just came by to visit, and
Yeah.
it was just Megan and Evelyn together?
Yes.
Did Evelyn appear healthy that day?
Yeah.
Any concerns that you had for her?
No.
Was she mobile yet?
Pause. Which day? Which exact day are they talking about? Because we need to know. Did I miss the date, the exact date? Which day? Can I please go back a few seconds here?
Is it typical, based upon the time that you were there for 4 years, typically would you get a request from another doctor to get their vaccine records, etc.
Yes.
of the child? Okay. And I'm assuming you've met Evelyn yourself, is that right?
Yes.
Do you recall the last time that you saw Evelyn alive?
November 28th of
Okay.
20.
Which was Thanksgiving, right? We don't do Thanksgiving elsewhere in the world, really. So it was November 28th, Thanksgiving, right? That's also the last time that Megan Boswell's dad, Tommy Boswell Sr., saw Evelyn. So we've got that November 28th that this lady, Casey Saults, saw Evelyn. Okay, so.
2019.
Okay. So it had been just a little bit after she turned 1, is that right?
Yes.
Do you remember where you were?
At my home.
Okay. And do you remember why she was there?
I think Megan and Evelyn were going to visit with my parents, and they were busy, so she stopped by to visit with me.
Okay. So she just came by to visit, and
Yeah.
it was just Megan and Evelyn together?
Yes.
Did Evelyn appear healthy that day?
Yeah.
Any concerns that you had for her?
No.
Was she mobile yet?
Yeah.
Was she walking?
Toddling around. I think
Okay.
she was still holding on to stuff, but she was getting around.
Okay. All right. Okay. Please answer any questions that Mr. Scott has for you. I'm sorry, Mr. Horn.
It's okay.
Ms. Saults, right?
Yes.
My name's Tim Horn. I'm one of Megan's attorneys. I just want to ask you a couple quick questions to make sure I understood your testimony. And that is, since Evelyn's birth, up until roughly right at the 12-month mark, Megan was bringing Evelyn in as recommended for these wellness checkups.
Correct.
It would be a fair statement to say that she did that up until Ms. Massengill asked you right at the infancy or the onset of December.
Correct.
So a year.
Yeah.
And during that year period, you said you'd worked in a pediatrician's office for about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
It would be normal or customary that if, when you're examining a child and you saw signs of abuse or neglect, you'd have a duty to report that, wouldn't you?
Yes.
And that's a statutory duty that's imposed upon physicians and doctors to do.
Correct.
So I'm gleaning from your testimony that Megan was doing everything that a mother should, or that we would want a mother to do for this first year of this child's life.
Correct.
And to your knowledge, there was nothing documented, or there was no concerns about Evelyn's welfare. Is that correct?
As far as I know, that's correct.
And so essentially the substance of your testimony here today is that at the end of December, or at the infancy of December there, she just didn't show and never showed from that point on.
Right.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Are you ready?
No, Your Honor.
Can she be released from stand?
Yes, Your Honor. She can be released.
All right. Miss Saul.
Here's the court reporter. You see my pointer here? People are asking. Ned, I think you asked. Here, right here. She's sitting right here. Okay.
Thank you for your testimony today, and you can you'll release your subpoena.
Thank you.
Today was called Dr. Barbara Pugh.
Dr. Barbara. And we'll have to hear that surname again. Type it in chat if you know how to spell it.
Notepad. Everybody doing
Dr. Barbara Pugh, literally. Okay, okay. That's the lady I was saying had possibly a gut instinct of something's wrong because she's not coming to appointments and we need to check.
Raise your hand, Ned. State your name.
Barbara Elaine Pugh.
You solemnly swear or affirm testimony about you is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Dr. Pugh, if you would scoot up real close to that microphone there so we can pick you up.
Okay.
There you go, that's better. All right. Your full name, please.
Barbara Elaine Pugh.
All right. And where are you employed, Ms. Pugh?
I am currently retired. I'm a pediatrician.
All right. And how long were you a pediatrician?
I think 37 years.
All right. Where did you practice?
I own my own practice Premier Pediatrics in Johnson City.
All right. And was that an open pediatrician's office back in 2018?
Yes, I think that's right.
Okay. While you were had that pediatrician's office, did you have a patient there by the name of Evelyn Boswell?
I did.
All right. And the mother of the child, her name was Megan Boswell?
Yes.
Okay. How many doctors were in the practice there at Premier Pediatrician?
At that time, we had a physician assistant and another doctor, another pediatrician.
Okay. So how did that work when you had a patient there at the office? Did one doctor, was that assigned to a specific patient or was it just kind of on a
Well, they could
rotational
request
basis?
who they wanted to see, but most often they saw the same one for their physicals, usually.
Okay. And did you see Evelyn shortly after she was born there in your office?
My partner at the time, Dr. Trozen, saw her for the very first time at 8 days of age.
All right. And would you all have reviewed her birth records from the hospital as part of your usual protocol in taking her on as a new patient?
Yes, and it was in the chart when Dr. Trozen got the information.
All right. And you had an opportunity to review Evelyn's chart?
Yes.
Okay. Did you note any concerns as far as her birth, pregnancy, anything like that prior to her coming on as a patient there at your office?
Well, the mother was a teen mother, and in pediatrics we consider that of concern. So she was 17 at the time. The baby had group B strep. Mama was group B strep positive, so the baby got some antibiotics for a couple days, but she went home in 2 days. She was small for gestational age, like 5 pounds and 6 ounces, I think it was. So she was small. But other than that, she was doing well.
All right. And did you all see her on a regular basis there at your office?
Yes, she came for her physicals 2 weeks, or 16 days is how she was. But she came for the second visit, and then 2, 4, 6, and 9 months.
And again, you said you had an opportunity to review her records. Anything stand out to you as far as health concerns during that first year?
No, I mean, the last time we saw her was for a sick visit. She was about 10 and a half months old. So that was the last visit in October of 2019. But her 2, 4, 6, 9 months visits, in 2 weeks, she was doing well.
Okay.
She had a few little odds and ends, but they're normal.
Okay.
No.
Developing normal like a
Yes,
a
she was
newborn?
growing well, and her developmental skills were very well. She was actually advanced at 9 months, talking some, and she was doing well.
Okay, so meeting normal milestones, nothing that
Yes.
would, as a pediatrician would give you any sort of concern?
No, she was doing well.
Okay. you were aware that she had a visit scheduled for December the 5th of 2019?
That probably would have been her 12, it should have been her 12-month checkup.
All right. And you learned that she failed to make that visit, is that correct?
Yes, I think she had more than one. I think it may have been rescheduled, but I'm not sure. But she did have, because the front office takes care of that, but she did not come anymore after 10.5 months.
All right. And obviously, as a pediatrician, it's important for you to see a child regularly during the early parts of her life, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
we haven't.
Okay. So did that concern you when she did not show back up for her year visit?
Well, yes, but in pediatrics, it's, sometimes people move, they change, so you don't always know as the doctor, you may not know why they don't show up. But all you can do is call and try to find out and follow up.
Okay. All right. So you said the last time you saw Evelyn was in October of 2019.
Well, actually, Dr. Trozen saw her that day for a sick visit.
So the last time your office saw her?
Yes.
Okay.
Irene says, advanced at 9 months. So at least we know that was one truth that Megan Boswell told about her daughter, who she's accused of murdering. It's just so bizarre that Megan would be, if she's the one who murdered her, because if she's innocent till proven guilty, right? We're watching this trial. We'll see what happens, what the jury decides. But to brag so much about Evelyn after her death, to say she was advanced and talking and had started using that sippy cup, right? So at least we can see the source of where that information also came from. Obviously, she was her mother, so she could experience that herself, but based on everything else we know, sure, Megan was a red flag. So I would think that information that she relayed to the media came from the doctors who saw Evelyn. It was like, wow, she's doing so well, right?
Does your office maintain medical records as a normal course of treating patients there?
Yes. When I sold my practice to when the charts are maintained with Dr. Justin Jones with Ballot Health.
Okay.
He's a pediatrician.
All right. Okay. Dr. Pugh, I'm going to hand you some records and ask you to take a look at them, see if you can identify them.
Yes.
And what are those?
Those are the charts from my office.
Okay. And is that a true and accurate copy of the medical records of Evelyn Boswell
Yes.
that were maintained by your office?
Yes.
All right. Judge, I would move to make that exhibit 67, please.
Exhibit 67.
Thank you, Dr. Pugh. If you would answer any questions, I believe Mr. Horn might have for you.
So all but the first visit you saw Evelyn. Is that my understanding?
Not the first and the last visit, I didn't see
Okay,
her.
last. But you would have had access, so when you did treat her, you would have access to all of her medical records.
Yes, they would be in the chart.
And as a pediatrician in the state of Tennessee, would it be fair, is it your understanding of the law that if a pediatrician's examining a child and they suspect abuse or neglect or something that's affecting the welfare of that child, they have an obligation to report it?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, to the records that were made in regards to Evelyn, was there anything in there that would cause, warrant, or impose a duty to report anything to law enforcement to require to investigate that?
No, or I would have taken care of it.
I imagine you would. Your medical license is important to you. So, fair statement to say that Evelyn was progressing the way she
Yes.
should progress, and that Megan was fulfilling, up until the point you last seen her, her maternal responsibilities as far as it relates to the child.
Well, yes.
That's all questions I have.
Redirect.
No, you're right.
Is she free to go?
She is.
Dr. Pugh, thank you for your testimony.
Thank
You're
you.
released from your subpoena and you're free to go. All right, next.
state to call him Paul Miller.
Paul Miller. Okay. You're going to hear me type. Got some typing sounds coming up. Just hold on, I'm not doing it on purpose. There we go. Paul Miller, the state will ask. Just a reminder that because the jury's sequestered, they will be caught on Saturdays as well, okay? So we're going to be, this is day 2. It's happening live on a Thursday, February 6th, if you're watching live with me. So we'll be busy on Friday and Saturday as well. And the trial's expected to last 2 to 4 weeks.
Raise your right hand, sir. State your name.
Paul Miller?
You solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give me the truth, the whole
Yes.
truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Now, see right there. Speak in your mouth.
Good afternoon, Mr. Miller.
Good afternoon.
If you would scoot up real close to that mic so we can pick you up, okay? You're Paul Miller, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Mr. Miller, where do you live?
I live in Johnson City.
Okay. Now, at one point in time, you were married to Ethan Perry's grandmother, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, just getting this straight for everybody, you are Ethan Perry's step-grandfather.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? Okay. And at one point in time, you believed that Ethan was the biological father of Evelyn Boswell. Is that
Yes,
correct? Okay. Did Ethan ever live with you growing up?
He did from birth to he's about 11.
Okay.
If you're wondering who Ethan is, if you're new here or you missed the trial prep or something, Ethan is the person who Megan said was or is Evelyn's dad. And that turned out to not be true based on what the state said in the opening statements. They said Ethan wasn't even Evelyn's dad. But it was the go-to story for Megan Boswell when, people started catching on that, wait a minute, Evelyn's missing. Especially her dad started asking questions and everything. And she's like, oh no, Evelyn's with Ethan. Ethan was in the military. He joined the military straight out of high school. So I'm assuming he went to high school with Megan. Anyway, he went straight to the military. He was stationed in Louisiana. And eventually, when Evelyn was reported missing, then they contacted him first. Like, where is Evelyn? Because Megan says that you have her. He's like, what? He's like, I'm stationed in Louisiana. I haven't seen Evelyn. Right? So, yeah. He visited a bit. So I think there was a time when he believed he was the dad. I think. So, a lot of people now say, who's the dad? That's what we want to know. We want to know. Who's the dad? Maybe we'll find out in this trial.
And do you know the defendant, Megan Boswell?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how is it that you know Miss Boswell?
She was dating Ethan.
We got a glitch. So Megan was dating Ethan? Okay. Shame, sir. Let's try to fast forward through this glitch. Sorry about that. Oh dear. Sorry, sir. Okay, wait. Let's go back to normal speed and try to... Oh, wow. They literally lost some signal there.
Got to meet her.
Okay.
Hey. Somewhere there? Interesting. I don't want to miss anything. We don't want to miss a second yet. Wait. Sir. Okay, there we go. Technical problems happen. I'm just grateful that they've got cameras in the courtroom and that we can watch this trial together. Oh, okay.
All right. Did you ever get to meet Evelyn and Megan?
I did. Shortly before Halloween in 2000, I guess it was 19, I'd called her and we set up a meeting, told her I would like to meet her, and so she met me and my wife at the Cracker Barrel, and we got to meet her.
Okay. So something that was important to you. You could see your granddaughter, right?
It was, well, great-granddaughter.
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
great-granddaughter, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. And you said this was late October 2019? Okay. Did you see Ethan at any point in time that
Not-
year?
Not before that. I didn't see him until right before Christmas.
Okay. And what happened right before Christmas?
I had tried to get Megan to bring Evelyn to the house. I wanted her to give her a gift and get to see her, and so I'd set that up with her, and then I found out Ethan was in also, and anyway, ended up getting them both to come. I didn't know if they were going to come at the same time, but they did. And
Right.
They came at the same time in the same car.
All right. And so they both came over to your house there in Johnson City
Correct.
right before Christmas?
Correct.
Okay. Was Evelyn with Megan?
She was not.
Okay. Did you inquire where she was?
I did.
And
She told me that Evelyn had the flu and was staying with her grandmother, and that she was sick and didn't want to expose us.
okay. All right. So did you go on to visit with Megan and Ethan while they were there?
We did.
Okay. You mentioned that you had Christmas gifts for Evelyn.
Correct.
Did you give them to Megan?
I did.
Okay. After she left, did you ever get any photos or messages or anything that showed Evelyn with the gifts that you'd given her?
Oh, I asked her before she left the house. I said, "Please send me a video of her opening her gift," and she said she would, but I did not get that. And then later, I did text her and ask her if Evelyn liked her gift, and she said yes.
But you never saw any photos?
Never saw any photos.
Okay.
Shame, and he seems so sweet, this guy. Tina says lie after lie after lie. Yep, there were a lot of people in Evelyn's life who cared about her. You know? Clearly, from what I'm gathering so far, not Megan.
You testified earlier, mentioned that you got to see Evelyn in late October 2019.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever see her after that?
No, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. If you would answer any questions Mr. Scott may have for you.
Mr. Miller, you said that Megan made you aware you were a grandparent
Correct.
and that y'all were friends on Facebook,
Yes, sir.
and that Megan posted pictures of her and Evelyn frequently.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. Was it fairly regular?
Yes, sir.
And I imagine you liked or commented on those photos from time to time?
Yes, sir.
And did it appear from those photos that Megan enjoyed being a mother,
It did.
and that she loved the child,
It did.
and that she was enjoying time spending with that child, spending time with that child?
It did.
And you actually met Evelyn, did I understand you?
Yes, sir.
And spent some time with her.
Yes, sir.
And during all of those photographs that you've seen and the time you were with Megan and Evelyn, did you ever have reason to suspect that Megan was maybe abusing this child or neglecting this child?
No, sir.
It'd be fair to say that she actually loved this child a lot.
It appeared to me she did.
Okay, it's fair. And that she enjoyed motherhood.
Yes, sir.
So other than up until December then, you had no cause or no reason to believe that Evelyn was in danger or wasn't being cared for?
Correct.
That's all the questions we have.
Can he be released?
He can't, Judge.
Yes, sir. Mr. Miller, thank you for your testimony. You're released from your subpoena, sir, and you're free to go.
Thank you.
If, because obviously Megan, these are allegations, she's innocent until proven guilty, we'll have to see what all we learn from the evidence in this trial. But if she murdered her daughter, then it's even worse, like highlighting how great everything was right before she met Hunter, basically, you know what I mean? Like something changed, right? That's what it makes it, the contrast then would be so much worse. Zoe B said the cats must be a G's door. I don't know if you can hear them, but yes. I'm peeking because they're all like, hello, lady. You've been in there long enough. Can we come in? The cats are very busy.
We approached it.
Will there be an afternoon break to teleport through? Yes, there will. I see it. Look, I peeked. Ooh. So, buckle up, everyone. We're going to teleport through that break.
15. One stand, please.
She's still smiling.
You may be seated, thank you.
Can they set 15?
15-minute break.
Stand for recess.
Are we ready, everyone? Here we go. We're going forward now. Ooh, that was a quick break, actually. Judge is back.
It's ready, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Judge, we're ready. Janet says he's watching Grizzly True Crime. Hi, Judge. Okay, let's speed it up, shall we? 1.5 speed.
Stay right, please.
Stay right, Judge.
Stay right, please.
Yes, sir.
Don't adjourn. I'm gonna get the next witness on the southern day.
Stephen Lawrence.
One stand, please. You may be seated, thank you.
All right, turn your head.
State call Stephen Lawrence.
Stephen Lawrence. None of these names sound familiar right now. Let's wait to see who and what. And don't give spoilers, okay? We're watching on a delay on purpose. The court day might also run later than usual, later than 5 p.m. because the jury's sequestered. Yeah, we learned that from the Jason Chen trial. They went late some days till like 6:37.
your right hand. State your name.
Stephen Lawrence.
You solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a seat.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lawrence.
Good afternoon.
You are Stephen Lawrence, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lawrence, do you know the defendant, Megan Boswell?
I do.
And how is it that you know her?
She was friends with my little sister.
Okay. And who's your little sister?
Her name was Madison Broom.
Okay. Did you know her through high school, or how were they friends?
I believe it was high school.
Okay. Were you aware that Miss Boswell had a daughter by the name of Evelyn?
I was.
Okay. Did Miss Boswell come to visit you at some apartments that you were building in Johnson City back on December the 8th of 2019?
I believe that was the date, yes.
Okay. Do you know why she was there to see you?
The apartment building I had, my sister that I mentioned had passed away, and I was going to name the building after her, so she had come by to see the building.
All right. Did Miss Boswell have Evelyn with her on that day?
She did not.
Okay. Did you inquire as to where Evelyn was?
I asked about Evelyn, yes.
Okay. And what did Megan tell you?
Shame. So no, her name was, I mean, you guys are trying to correct him. No, his sister passed away. So, as he just said, he wanted to name this building after his sister who had passed away. Shame.
She was with the father.
Okay. And did you know, who was that, Ethan Perry, or who did she tell you the father?
Ethan was the father, I believe, at the time.
Okay. All right. Now, on February the 25th of 2020, were you contacted by Megan?
I don't remember the dates to be exact, but I was contacted after the visit, yes.
Okay.
I believe that was about the time frame, yes.
All right. Was this during the time frame in which Evelyn was reported missing?
Going off memory, yes.
Okay. And why did she contact you?
She was pretty much seeking some help in general.
Okay. What did you do after she called you?
I obviously was wanting to help assist in finding Evelyn. I said if we can find Evelyn, then I'd try to help in any way I could. Brought her up to the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office and tried to have her speak with detectives and whatnot to get answers.
Okay. Did you go pick her up, or?
I did.
Okay. Where did you pick her up?
It was in, she was staying with my mom at the time, so I believe it was in Bluntville.
Okay. All right. And so you picked her up, you brought her up here, you said up to the sheriff's office?
Correct.
Okay. Did you stay there with her, or what did you do?
I dropped her off and then I had left.
Okay. After you left, did you receive any sort of communication from her after that?
Yeah, she afterwards had said she was done up here, and I had come back and picked her up.
Okay. And what did you do after you picked her up?
We drove around for a little bit. And I was just kind of waiting. I had brought her up here, like I'd said, to speak to detectives and try to make more leeway on where Evelyn was.
Okay. Did you have any conversations with Miss Boswell while you all were driving around?
We did.
Okay. What did you talk about?
I don't recall a lot with all the time that has passed. I believe I had asked her in that ride if Evelyn was missing when she had came and visited the apartments back in December, and she said that she was missing.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. If you would, answer any questions Mr. Scott may have for you.
Can I have just a minute, Judge?
Yeah.
Judge, we don't have any questions for you.
All right. Mr. Lawrence, thank you for your testimony. You're released from the opinion.
state we call Audrey Gibbs.
Okay, while we're waiting for Audrey Gibbs to take the stand, I just quickly have to let Fury out. Just give me 1 second. I'm still here. I'm just going to let him out the gate here. Okay.
Kingsport, Tennessee.
Hi, how are you?
Been better.
Okay. Just breathe. You'll be fine. You need a minute?
Okay, I'm fine.
Okay. All right. You need to just let me know if you need to take a breath, okay?
Okay.
All right. If you would state your name for the record, please.
Yes, it's Audrey Gibbs.
And Miss Gibbs, where do you live?
I live in Kingsport, Tennessee.
All right. Do you know the defendant, Megan Boswell?
Yes.
And how is it that you know Miss Boswell?
We met in 7th grade.
Okay. You known her since then?
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
It's been quite a minute. Over 10 years here.
Okay. Did you also attend high school with her?
Freshman year, yeah.
Okay. And where was that?
That was at Central.
Okay. Here in Blounteville?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know Miss Boswell's daughter, Evelyn?
Yes.
Okay. Were you friends with Miss Boswell after Evelyn was born?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever see her or visit with her?
Quite often, yes.
Okay. When you say quite often, how often are we, how frequently are we talking?
Almost every day. You know, in 2019 we hung out a lot. Megan was one of my closest friends then. We would sometimes take trips together, and you know, Evelyn was always there with us.
Okay. So that would have been right after Evelyn was born. Is that
Yeah.
right? How old was Evelyn at the time?
I think, you know, I mean, we hung out the whole time. I mean, in the summer, I believe she would be like, you know, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, something like that. I can't remember her exact age during that time. I just know, yeah,
Okay. You were seeing her
quite often.
very frequently during that time.
Yeah.
What were your observations as far as Megan and her being a parent to Evelyn?
You know, for the most part, it was all right. There was no complaints there, but there were some things like that I noticed. Like sometimes it would be a long time before she would change her diaper, and it'd be like, hey, do you need to change her diaper or anything like that? There was also one time with the car seat. I had noticed that she hadn't buckled her in, and I just mentioned, hey, you know, it's you better buckle in Evelyn and stuff. It's not safe for you to ride around. You could get in a car accident, and she could get hurt. And just those two things I noticed. But other than that, not really much else.
Okay. She appeared to care for Evelyn?
Yeah,
Love
yeah,
her?
yeah, definitely.
Good mom?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever babysit for Megan?
No. We would hang out together. We would, you know, either go to the park, or one time we went to the aquarium in Pigeon Forge. We would always just do like family-friendly things. You know, one time we also tie-dyed together with Evelyn. I made like a onesie for my daughter that day because it was before she was born.
At some point in time, do you leave the Tri-Cities area?
Yes. So after my baby shower, I did move to Knoxville with my the father of my child to live with his family at just Knoxville.
Okay. Do you remember when that was?
Yes, it would have been early November.
All right. Of 2019?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It's kind of a silly question, but did you have your child?
Yes.
Okay. And when was that?
That was December 9th, 2019.
Not going to forget that date. All right. Did Megan come to see you while you were in the hospital?
Yes, she did, with my other best friend, Bailey.
Okay. What's Bailey's last name?
Bailey Hawkins.
Okay. So the two of them, you were in Knoxville, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so the two of them came together to see you while you were still in the hospital?
Yes, it was right after I'd given birth.
Okay. Did Megan have Evelyn with her that day?
No, she didn't.
Okay.
Which would have been the first time I saw her without Evelyn ever.
Oh, this case is getting stronger and stronger. The timeline's starting to get tighter, you know, the previous witness, Megan admitting that Evelyn was missing long before anyone else really knew it. And then now, this was one of her best friends, Audrey Gibbs, and she gave birth to her daughter on December 9th of 2019. And we know that Evelyn, according to the state, was last seen on December 6th. So here she's observing, wow, so Megan came to visit me because she gave birth to her daughter, but without Evelyn. And it's the first time that she saw her without Evelyn. Sure, okay.
You trailed off a little bit there at the end. Did you say Evelyn?
Oh, yeah, that would be the first time that I would ever see her without Evelyn, because every time otherwise we hung out together with Evelyn always.
Okay. She always had Evelyn with her.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you notice anything unusual about Megan that day?
Yes. So I was just trying to tell my birthing story because, you know, I kind of had a little bit of a traumatic one. So I was just, you know, telling her and Bailey about that. And Megan's behavior that day was just a little weird. She just kind of had like a weird look in her eyes, and then she just kept saying over and over to me like, I love you, and just like, I love you, I love you, I love you, and it was just over and over until I would acknowledge that, and, you know, eventually I had to say like, I love you too, but I mean, I was trying to tell a story.
Okay. So that was not her normal behavior?
No.
Not the normal way you all would interact?
No, normally, you know, we'd have just like a regular old conversation, back and forth.
Okay. Did you ask her where Evelyn was?
Yes, I did. I asked her where Evelyn was, and I can't remember who she said she was with, but I just thought that was kind of strange at the time because, you know, normally she couldn't find a babysitter. It's hard for her too.
After her visit, did you communicate or stay in touch with her?
Yes.
Okay. And how was it that you communicated with Megan?
Mainly through Instagram.
Did Megan talk at all about Evelyn?
Well, she wouldn't directly bring her up, but I would ask, you know, about Evelyn, and if Kyrie could meet Evelyn because, you know, they were supposed to be besties.
Okay. And who's Kyrie?
Sorry, that's my daughter.
Okay. All right. So you said you talked about Evelyn.
Yeah.
Did Megan ever bring her up or talk about her, show any pictures?
She didn't show pictures, but she would answer, like, you know, my questions if I asked about Evelyn. She would just say, you know, she's good, but, you know, she's not with me. She said one time that that Evelyn was with Ethan. Well, actually, that's really the only thing she told me was just that Evelyn was with Ethan.
Okay. And you said that this was after your visit on December the 9th. So,
Yes.
do you remember conversations back in January of 2020? Would you have had conversations with her on Instagram at that point in time?
Yes.
All right.
Right, Lennon Cardwell, you were saying what she was saying is they were supposed to be besties. Shame. She wanted, obviously, her daughter and Megan's daughter to be besties. That's so sad.
Ms. Gibbs, I'm going to hand you a document and ask you if you can identify what's shown in that.
Yes, this is just mine and hers Instagram messages.
Okay. Is that a conversation that you had with her on January the 19th of 2020?
Yes.
All right. Is that a true and accurate depiction of the conversation that you had with her?
Yes.
Judge, I would move to make that exhibit. Sorry, I don't have 68.
You got them?
Oh, sure.
Instagram.
Instagram, yes, Judge. And I'm going to ask to publish that to the jury. All right, Ms. Gibbs. Just for clarification, I noticed at the top it says Maggie May. Is that how you had her, or is that her handle on?
That was her
Instagram?
handle on Instagram.
Okay. And the tagline there, Maggie_Wood23.
Wait, sorry, that was her handle. The first part, that was just like her name, how it's shown on Instagram, but
Okay.
the under part's the
Okay.
handle.
Okay.
Sorry.
So that's how her name displays as Maggie May.
Yes.
Okay.
Maggie May. I wonder if her second name was also May then, right? Because Evelyn was named Evelyn May Boswell. Okay, and she called herself Maggie Wood. That was like her Instagram handle. Okay, so she took the relationship very seriously with Hunter.
All right. And so her part of the conversation there is on the left, yours is on the right. Is that correct? Okay. So on January the 19th, 2020, you got a message from her, WYD. Can you tell us what that stands for those of us who may not know?
Yes, that means what you doing.
Okay. And did you respond to that?
Yes.
All right. And again, you used
This is slang term, sorry.
NNWVU, what does that stand for?
That means not much. What about you?
Okay. And what else did you ask her?
I just said, how's Evelyn? To which she would reply, good. And then, I mentioned you should bring her up here to meet Kyrie, just because, that was one of my biggest things. I just really wanted them to get together.
Okay. And what did she respond to your comment about that?
Yes, she then said, I don't have her right now. Ethan's got her, but we could come tonight if you want us to. Which I was at my aunt's at the time, so that's why I said tonight wouldn't be good. When's the next time you could come? And then she said probably not for another couple weeks, which at that time I would be out of Kingsport because I lived in Knoxville at the time.
Okay. So you were just up here visiting?
Family, yes.
Okay.
And friends.
Okay.
It's interesting that Megan there said, well, we could come tonight if you want, because obviously that wouldn't be possible because from everything we know, Evelyn was no longer alive. So I wonder if she would have just said, oh, something came up or I've got to work or whatever. Like, what if this friend said, okay, yeah, come tonight,
All right.
She's definitely not looking at Megan. Such a long, awkward wait. Ooh, she's glancing that way now, which would be towards Megan. Shame. Okay.
Ms. Gibbs, I'm going to hand you a document of sorts and ask if you can identify that.
Yes, this is another conversation between me and her on Instagram.
All right. Was that a conversation that you all had back on January the 24th into the 25th of 2020?
Yes,
All right.
and also the 26th.
Okay. And was that is that a true and accurate copy of the conversation that you all had there on Instagram?
Yeah.
All right. Judge, I would move to make that Exhibit 69. And ask to publish it to the jury. All right, Ms. Gibbs. So again, Ms. Boswell's portion of the conversation is, as we look at on the left part of the screen here on the right side. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So you want to interpret for us again?
Yeah. Okay, so starting off, she says, "What are you doing?" And then I just said, "Nothing much. What about you?" And then she said, "I'm impregnated." And then, am I allowed to use profanity? Okay.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh shit, for real?" And she said, "Yes." And then I said, "That's awesome. Evelyn's going to have a sibling." And then she said, "Yes."
Okay. All right. Did you continue to have communication with Miss Boswell after that?
I mean, it would have still been kind of spotty, here and there. Just messaging when I could, because I was like, a new time mom for the first time, and just kind of, going through the newborn stage. But, I think I messaged her one more time, well, a couple more times, and then the last message I remember sending her was basically like when everything came out, and I was like, "How are you? This is pretty intense."
Okay.
But that was like one of my last messages to her.
All right. Did she ever respond to you
No.
at that point in time? Okay. Ms. Gibbs, when was the last time that you saw Evelyn?
It would have been my baby shower.
Okay. And when was your baby shower?
It would have been October 31st.
Okay. 2019?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Megan, I'm just like shaking my head. Like, you would literally tell one of your best friends, I assume best friend, that you were impregnated. Yeah. Pernille's also like, impregnated. Yeah, firstly, why is she saying that? But she wasn't pregnant. She was just running with that. I mean, when they arrested her in February, they tested her. She wasn't pregnant. Like, what? Why did she have to come up with that? Oh, shame. So this poor friend would be like, can't wait for Evelyn to be besties with her daughter. Oh, and now there's another one on the way. She'd be like, what? But meanwhile, it's actually the exact opposite. It's so sinister. Evelyn is dead. Sure.
Okay. And then you left after that and went to
Yes.
the hospital. All right. Thank you very much. If you would answer any questions Mr. Scott has for you.
Okay.
No questions.
Ms. Gibbs, thank you for your testimony. Your release from the subpoena, ma'am. Where you go?
Thank you.
Okay, what I want to do, we are now 2 hours behind because they're just changing witnesses now. I just want to refresh this feed because they've actually ended for the day and I don't want it to jump like it does sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've seen it happen before. So just stand by quickly. Okay, go like that. Don't worry, it will be right back here. There we go. Okay, and we just saw her.
Okay. No, that's fine. Okay. And then you left after.
Okay, here's the next witness.
Speaking to the microphone.
Raise your right hand, ma'am. State your name.
Bailey Hawkins.
You solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Bailey, how are you today?
I'm here.
Can you tell us your name?
Bailey Hawkins,
Okay. Can you tell us where you live? What city do you live in?
Bumpel, Tennessee.
And how long have you lived in Tennessee?
I moved to Tennessee in 5th grade, so about a little over 10 years.
Okay. And when you moved to Tennessee, what school did you go to?
I went to Holston Elementary School.
Okay. And do you know the defendant, Megan Boswell?
Yes.
How do you know her?
We went to school together when I moved to Tennessee. She was like basically the first friend that I made in elementary school.
Okay, so would that have been around 5th grade?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you maintain that friendship from 5th grade on?
Yeah, we pretty much stayed in contact because we had like classes together and everything, and we're in school together. She moved around a lot, so we would fall in and out of contact here and there, but we pretty much stayed friends the entire time.
Okay. Do you recall when Megan was pregnant with Evelyn?
Yes.
Were you still friends during that time?
She invited me over to Evelyn's baby shower, so we were friends, and then she invited me to her baby shower.
Okay. And were you able to go to the baby shower?
No.
Okay. Did you continue to maintain that friendship after Evelyn was born?
Yeah, that's pretty much when we became in contact more and started like seeing each other more.
Okay. Can you tell us, when you say seeing each other more, how often do you think you were seeing Megan and Evelyn?
It was pretty regularly. I'd say once or twice a week, probably.
Okay. And when you saw Megan, would she always have Evelyn with her?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever, and I'm going to give you a time frame from Thanksgiving of 2019, prior to that time, did you ever see Megan without Evelyn?
No.
Okay. Did you ever know for Megan to leave Evelyn with anyone else before Thanksgiving of 2019?
Every now and again she'd talk about leaving her with the grandma, but every time we hung out, she would always have Evelyn.
Okay. And do you remember the last time that you saw Evelyn yourself in person?
I can't remember exact dates because we hung out so often, but the last time that I recall is when we went to Speedway and Lights.
Okay. And did Evelyn go with you?
Yes.
Okay.
It's really sad to hear from her, I guess, former friends. I don't know, so I'm just saying Megan's friend. Because they sound so sad, so broken, right? And we haven't seen that from Megan herself, so.
When we approach.
I could feel a sidebar coming on. Oh, okay. She still looks embarrassed to me. What do you read from this?
Okay, Bailey, you just stated that you recalled going to Speedway and Lights with Evelyn and Megan. Is that right?
Yes.
And do you recall how many times you went?
We went twice.
Okay. And were Megan and Evelyn there both times?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said you don't recall the date?
They were in November.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely November.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall when Megan started her new job?
That was in December. I want to say it was beginning of December.
Okay. And do you know where she was starting to work?
Hunter T's Chicken Shack.
Okay. And did you ask her, did she tell you who was going to be watching Evelyn during the time that she was working at the Chicken Shack?
Her grandma.
Okay. And did you have knowledge as to what kind of hours that she was working at the Chicken Shack?
It seems like she was pretty much always there. It was like from like open to close,
Okay.
long hours.
Okay.
If she was there from when it opened till when it closed, it really sounds like, and I'm just speculating now, but it sounds like Megan laid eyes on, what's his name, Preston Hunter Wood, and just like mesmerized, you know, just wants to be with him at all cost, is what it sounds like.
Make it better than that. Can you?
There you go.
So now at 10:29 p.m., what does Megan say to you? Is that blurry a little bit?
I genuinely enjoy hanging out with him.
Okay. And when you respond to her, what does she say in response at 10:30 p.m.?
Like, I don't mind work at all. I've been at work all day. Yeah, no, I really like being around him.
Okay. And then when you say, that's awesome, I'm glad you like your job, what does she say in response to you?
I left and came back after they closed just to see him.
Okay.
Okay, so my speculation is not too far off then. Sure.
I'm trying to make this not. Is that bad? Huh? Okay, I don't know if I can make it better than that. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, we're at around 10:40 p.m., and you're asking if it was just Hunter, and what does Megan say in response?
His dad was in the back with him, and I chilled up front.
Okay. And then what does she say in response, or regarding Hunter and his dad?
Him and his dad went to go to church with them on Sunday.
Okay, and then what do you suggest to her in response to that?
I say you could bring Evelyn.
Okay. And what does Megan say?
I used to take her to church with Caleb. His dad was like, you can come to church with us Sunday, and Hunter was like, yeah. And we'd go to that barbecue place you like and get food after. I feel kind of bad. He's not a bad guy, and I was like, he's so weird.
And on this message, let's see if we can see it okay, is she continuing to talk about Hunter?
Yeah, she says, yes, his dad likes me a lot. I'm the only person on overtime.
Okay. When you respond about getting hours at work, what does she say in response to you?
Literally this morning, I wasn't supposed to go in until 10, and I went in at 6. Hunter called me and was like, do you want me to come in? I'm here. And I was like, sure. I'm going to the shack at 4:30 in the morning to help him open. I've not had a male friend I've actually enjoyed just like hanging out with in so long.
Okay. And has she indicated to you that during all these hours that she's working that her grandmother is keeping Evelyn?
No.
Okay.
I really wish they would be very specific with the dates and just remind everyone what date is this message on December what? Because Megan started working there December 2nd. And then she sounds to me like she was just obsessed. And who knows where Evelyn was all the time that Megan was, okay, try not to snark too much, hanging out at the chicken shop. Just being all obsessed, right? Where was Evelyn really? Was her grandmother really looking after her? I don't think so. Would her grandmother then be Angela? I think she was in jail. So someone said in chat just a little while ago, maybe she was alone, like neglected. That would be so sad, but it is a possibility.
Okay, so when you say that's so early, does Megan respond to you?
Says even if he does attempt to hit on me, sometimes I brush it off. It's fine. I'm just so genuinely content. I literally don't even mind. That's when he's gonna get there. Is that bad?
Okay, and then you say, let's hope he gets the hint. What did you mean by that at that point?
I guess.
If you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. What does she say in response to you?
Like, not even an, oh, I like him, content. I'm just content and happy around him. That sounds weird, but I am.
Okay. And then what do you say in response?
But if you don't mind and have someone watch Evelyn, then definitely go for it.
The same conversation is still continuing, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're at 10:57 p.m. now, is that right? Okay. Are you okay? Okay. And then...
At least we can see it on the screen, December 5th. Yeah. I can read. Fun size. I like the help. Thank you so much. But I can read. Okay, now we're happy. We can see the date. December 5th. Oh, man. Like, do we even want to hear it? I'm already cringing. Oh, no, Megan, what? Okay.
What does Megan say?
I was so fucking cranky when I came in, I won't lie. And it was like I felt better immediately being around him. My grandma was like, you just want to date him. And I was like, no, woman.
Okay, and you responded to her that he seems like a nice Southern guy. And what did Megan say in response to you?
My grandma's keeping her overnight for two nights and all day. He's a pretty good guy. Like I said, I'm just so content around him.
Okay. And when you say that's good, how does Megan respond to you?
Like, I worked from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and came back at 7 to 9:30. I literally just didn't mind. I washed dishes and helped him clean for a little bit. And the only time I left was to go get him.
I mean, that's on day 3 of working there. Does she really work there? It sounds like it, or she just like hanging around. Did she go get chicken one day and she was hanging around, just wanted to be with the guy? I don't know. She said she was working there, but that was December 5th when these messages are being sent. She's just so content. So content, you guys. Oh, no, no, no. She only went there from December 2nd, so this is day 3.
Okay, last one for this. Actually, there's 2 more. Sorry. When you tell her we all need good people to be around, what does she say in response to you?
Yeah, he just makes me happy. I don't know. I enjoy our friendship a lot.
And you respond, and then how does she respond to you?
I didn't even care, though. It didn't feel that long.
And the last page of this conversation, starting about 10:59 p.m. What does Megan say to you at that time?
It's 11 and I have to go. I have to be back at work at 4:30 and I'm watching TikToks. I'll be there from 4:30 a.m. until like 8 at night or later.
Okay, and you said, OMG, and how did she respond?
I don't even mind whatsoever.
Okay. At any time during that conversation, did she ever indicate that Evelyn was with her?
She said that Evelyn was with her grandma.
So that's another lie. You know, telling everyone that Evelyn was with Ethan and saying Ethan was the dad. Ethan wasn't the dad? Okay. Now she's telling this friend, yeah, Evelyn is with her grandma.
I'm sorry. I'm going to pass you another document for you to take a look at. Take your time.
For anyone wondering, it looks like we have an hour and a half left of court footage. I don't know if there's another afternoon break or whatever, so call it an hour and a half.
Okay, on what date?
December 6th, 2019 at 9:10 a.m.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate depiction of the conversation you had with her by text message that day?
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, we'd like to ask that to be admitted as the next exhibit, number 71.
No objection. Before the 71.
Thank you. Permission to publish? Bailey, again, we're going to go through this just like we did the other ones. You said this started on about 9:10 on December 6, 2019. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
December 6th, very important. Whenever they say December 6th, I'm already like, what? Because the state said that's the last time, we don't know by who yet exactly, that Evelyn was seen alive. So you can already see the escalation of Megan's, I would call it an obsession with Hunter. That's what, I don't know what else to call it. It's just like, oh, I'm working at the chicken shop. I'm there all day, not spending any more time really with their daughter, just there all day from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. and back at 7:30. Like, oh no, just so content saying that Evelyn is with her grandmother. So let's see what they said on December 6th.
And what does Megan say to you regarding her work?
I'm leaving at 11 and coming back at 12, so come by before then.
Okay. And you said okay, then what does she say?
JK, I'm leaving at 10:44, 45.
Is that you were going to go by and visit her? Is that what that conversation?
I guess.
Okay. I know some time has passed. I was just curious. Okay. So at 11:19 a.m., what does Megan say to you?
I'm back now. I left again, but I'm with Hunter.
Okay. The same day, around 5:30 p.m., what do you say to Megan?
What are you doing?
And what does she say?
Chilling with Hunter still.
Okay, so just quickly, I'm going to go back. Okay. So okay, that's okay. And then what does she say at 7:21 p.m.?
I'm going to Hunter's house. Wish me luck.
Okay. And then same day, 11:30 p.m. What does Megan say to you?
I'm home now. I was over there for hours. Holy shit. We just talked. It was nice.
Okay. At any time during that conversation, did she mention that she had Evelyn with her? Did she mention where Evelyn was?
No.
Are you sure? I was going to say, are you sure you just talked? Are you sure? But actually, maybe it was. Maybe Hunter had her in the friend zone and she was already like changing her surname, you know, her last name on social media. Like, this is my guy. That's a good point, Paula. That's a good point. You said in the text messages, Megan said with my grandma. So I thought that was, oh, mommy, Tommy's mother. You're probably right. You're probably right. It couldn't be her mother. It was probably Tommy's mother. I would hope that that's true, but with her, you never know. So, because I hope that somebody was looking after Evelyn during all this time that she's chasing Hunter. Hunting Hunter. With the judge. The judge is feeling like me now. What are we doing, guys? And then
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
Text messages between me and Megan.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to speak up just a little bit so we can all hear you. You said it was text messages between you and Megan?
Yes.
Okay, on what date?
December 7th, 2019
Okay.
at 12:16 a.m.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate representation of your conversation with Megan on December 7th, 2019?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, we'd ask that to be admitted as Exhibit 72.
Yeah, you told Exhibit 70.
This one's a little bit harder to read because it's a lot of text on one page, so I may zoom in and then we can zoom back out, okay? Okay. So it looks like you started by asking Megan a question, is that right?
Yeah, I said, how was everything?
Okay, and how did she respond to you?
Good. I'm only coming in work for a little bit today, but on Monday come back and see me. I love you and have a good day at school. Also, Hunter is going to be there after 1, so that's probably when I'll come. So you should stop by then if you do come today, because it's very awkward. Him being like, don't charge them because even employees don't get free stuff. And I know this one chick doesn't like me because of it. Like yesterday, she was bitching about him getting to leave to go do business stuff, and then I left with him twice, and she was obviously pissed when I got back.
Okay. I'm going to try to, let's see, move it down a little. Okay. And what did she, there we go. What did she say after that message that you just read?
I just feel bad because I know there's like 2 people who don't like me because of it, and it makes me feel like a piece of crap.
Okay.
there's a whole lot more people now that don't like her for, let's speculate, of being obsessed with Hunter and forgetting about her child. That's what it seems like right now.
The same conversation's continuing at 3:43, is that right? On December 7th. And, let me get it. Okay, so what does Megan tell you at 3:43 p.m. on December 7th?
I'm riding around. Want me to pick you up?
Okay, and what do you say?
I'm getting food with Cameron.
Okay, and what does she say?
I can wait if you're busy.
Okay. She indicated any time that Evelyn is with her, either on those messages or verbally to you in a different way that day?
No.
Okay, so 3:49 p.m., what does she say to you?
Okay, I'm driving. I can't text. 1 sec.
Okay. And then you say okay, and how does she respond?
Where am I meeting you?
Okay. And what do you say?
We're about to leave the Bojangles in Piney Flats.
And what do you say? I'm sorry, what does Megan say in response to you?
I'll meet you there.
Okay. Still on December 7th, I'm going to probably zoom this one in too, just in case there's jurors who can't see it in their monitors. Okay. 4:08 p.m., what does Megan say to you?
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
And then you responded. No, how did you respond?
Okay, I'm sorry. It'll be like 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay. And what does Megan say in response to you?
It's okay. Take your time. Thank you. It's just me. Evelyn's with Ethan's grandma.
Okay. And had you ever known Megan to leave Evelyn with...
Damn, now she says it's okay, take your time. It's just me. Evelyn's now with Ethan's grandma. No longer with her own grandma. As in with Megan's grandma. No. Now she's saying it's just me. Evelyn's with Ethan's grandma. Wow.
Ethan's grandparents prior to when she says it this moment. Okay, you'll have to answer verbally.
Oh, sorry. No.
Okay. That's okay. Okay. And then do you recall getting this screenshot from Megan at 5:09 p.m. that day?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know what that was regarding, that screenshot?
It was regarding a movie that
Okay.
they were going to go see.
Okay. When you say they, who are you talking about?
Hunter and Megan.
Okay. And so that's essentially the movie times that they were looking at, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And the movie is Dark Waters?
Yes.
Okay. And then you respond with a question mark to her. And what does Megan say to you?
I got no context other than that.
Okay. And then she then explains, I guess she realizes what it is. What does she say?
Oh, it's a movie.
And what do you say to her?
Is he asking to go watch it with you?
And then what does Megan say?
Yeah.
And then what do you say?
Are you going to do it?
And how does she respond?
Yeah.
Is it your understanding at this point that are they or are they not in a relationship at this point?
That's speculation.
I'm asking if she knows.
If she knows, she can answer if she knows.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. Go ahead.
To your knowledge, was Megan in a relationship with Hunter at this point?
I'm not too sure. At a certain point in my mind, they were in a relationship.
Okay. So your answer is you weren't sure at this point? Okay. All right. So December 7th at 5:17, we're continuing on with that same conversation. What does Megan say in regards to the movie?
He didn't even ask. He just wanted a time.
Okay. And what did you say?
Could have left him on red or made up an excuse.
Okay. And what does Megan say in response to that?
I like hanging out with him. It just threw me off guard.
Okay. And then you say that would catch me off guard too. And how does Megan respond to you?
Everyone that works with us keeps asking me if we're together, and when I say no, they don't bail. And like this one girl was like, I'll go with you all then, and I was like, bitch, I don't care.
Okay. So that's what IDC is? I don't care?
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. Okay, so same day at 8:04 p.m., what do you ask her?
How was the movie?
And how does she respond?
It was fine.
Okay. And you asked, didn't you enjoy it? And what does she say?
The movie was just kind of long. I liked getting to see him.
Okay. Passing you 3 pages. Take a moment to see if you recognize this.
Yeah, I recognize it.
Okay. What is it?
Text messages between me and Megan.
Okay. On what date?
December 8th, 2019 at 11:53 p.m.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of your conversation on December 8th, 2019?
Yes.
We'd offer that as exhibit number 73.
No objection.
We'll get it 7:30.
Permission to publish, Your Honor. Okay, so around 1:53 p.m. on December 8th, you ask her, what are you up to? And what does she say?
I'm with Maddie's brother
Okay, and you say, where are you? And what does she say?
at the chicken shack.
And then you ask her if she's working, and what does she say?
No, we're not open. They're just working on stuff right now.
Okay, and you ask her it's closed today, right? And what does Megan say?
I'm just chilling.
Okay. And then you say not with Hunter? And then how does she respond?
No, he's here.
Okay.
I'm getting so annoyed with how Megan was behaving. These messages say a lot. Put Hunter on the stand. Isn't it? Don't we all feel like that? Put Hunter on the stand. I hope we see him tomorrow. Can we see him soon? Clear this all up for us. I hope that Megan then will feel like she needs to crawl under the table. Because just from the media interview we saw of his, no, it wasn't a serious relationship like that. Wow, to forget all about your beautiful daughter chasing this Hunter. Isn't it so upsetting? If you were single, no children, whatever, do what you want. But you have a little girl that depended on you. And the allegations are that you threw her in the trash alive because you wanted a life with Hunter. That's the allegation. So let's wait to see more evidence. But like, yeah, put Hunter on the stand. We're ready.
Did she indicate to you in text message or in another way that day where Evelyn was? Okay.
I just want to pause here for a moment and just wish Stefan, our fabulous moderator and OG, who's been here since before I had even 700 subscribers, okay? A very happy birthday. It's Stefan's birthday now. It's just clocked over past midnight in Switzerland. Stefan's also in Switzerland. Happy birthday, Stefan. I hope you have a wonderful day. Now you go to bed. And we'll be watching here for a little bit longer, okay?
I do recognize it.
Okay. What is it?
The text messages between me and Megan.
Okay. What's the date for those messages?
December 13th, 2019 at 3:56 p.m.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate representation of your conversation with Megan Boswell on December 13th, 2019?
Yes.
Read out for that as exhibit number 74, please.
No objection. Full exhibit 74.
Permission to publish. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so this looks like Megan is sending you a few messages on December 13th. Can you read us the messages out loud, please?
His dad drove his car to work because his dad has a flat tire. I left his house early, and this was what he sent me when he finally woke up.
Okay. And what did she say after that?
It wasn't anything like good morning. It was get out of the Lexus and come scoop.
Okay. Is she indicating that they spent the night together, or do you know?
I don't remember.
Okay. So on December 13th at 5:06, what does she say?
Will you ride around with me?
Okay. And then what did she say after that?
I'm upset spaghetti.
Okay.
December 13th. Is that the one night that Hunter maybe, I don't know what, slipped over or she slipped over or whatever? Where the story was concocted that Hunter or her rolled over Evelyn? Yeah, I don't the vibes I'm getting is that Hunter was just not that into her. But I could be wrong. He did also apparently give her a car, so how would I don't know. We'll have to hear from
then
Hunter.
You respond to her. What do you say to her?
Hey, I'm sorry. I had my notifications turned off from Messenger. I'm out with Cameron right now. I'm sorry. What's wrong?
And what does she say?
It's skit. I'm so fucking irritated.
Okay. Is it skit another, what does that mean, if you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
It might have been a typo. I'm not too sure.
Okay. Okay. So we'll stop on the messages for a few minutes. So in these messages, Megan told you that Evelyn was with her grandmother. Is that right?
Yes.
And she told you that Evelyn was with Ethan's grandmother. Is that right?
Yes.
Did she ever tell you anything different than those two things about where Evelyn was?
Sometime around that time, she had told me that Ethan came back from Army leave and that like he was going to see her for the week because he was back in town, and then he ended up filing for emergency custody for her, and then within that time period he like had emergency custody and they were supposed to go to court and stuff over it, and then at that point like he had emergency custody and then they had shared custody. And then, yeah, then they had shared custody.
Okay, so it sounds like this was more than one conversation. Is that fair?
Yeah, it was all of this was between December and January.
Okay. When you had these conversations with her, did she seem sad?
Not particularly.
Did she seem worried about Evelyn?
No.
Did she seem scared in any way?
No.
What was her demeanor during any of these conversations?
It was just always matter of fact and like the answer, just that was the answer.
Okay, let's see.
So, yeah, Nails by Mayor said there was an interview with Hunter right at the start. He said he never met Evelyn. So we watched that in the trial prep. So if you guys want to check that out, it is a timestamp for you as well. It's on the playlist in the trial prep episode. We also watched all of Megan Boswell's interviews. The one interview we didn't watch was, I think it was Megan's grandfather. Something like that. And he was talking about seeing Hunter talking about giving the car to Angela, Megan's mother. So there's a little bit of a lie going around there about this car that then Angela and William McLeod, Megan's mother and her boyfriend, drove off with to another state. And Megan then said, okay, they've got Evelyn. And so the police chased them down and arrested them for a stolen vehicle, which Hunter had reported stolen. So that whole car story, I hope that also gets ironed out in this trial. There I'm kind of like, something is sus with that story. Especially because, as Kerry said earlier, Megan's dad said that he bought her a car cash. We heard that earlier as well. So there's something sus with that car. Laura, happy Grizzlyversary. Okay. Don't want to miss anything, but we also do want to go forward a bit here.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate representation of the conversation you had with Megan on December 14th, 2019?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, we'd ask that be made exhibit number 75.
Pleasure. Equal exhibit 75.
Well, I'm waiting for that document to come back. When she was telling you about this emergency custody, did she ever show you any paperwork or anything?
No.
Confirming that had actually happened? Any court paperwork or anything?
No, she didn't.
Permission to publish, Your Honor. Try to make this one a little bit bigger for the jurors. Okay, so on December 14th at 1:09 p.m., what does Megan say to you?
I'm going to go ahead and head your way. Take your time. I'm just sad without Evelyn, knowing what Ethan's done, and I hate going home, seeing her stuff there and not her, you know.
Okay, and how do you respond?
Okay, I just got.
What? Let's read that again. One more time slowly. Megan says to this friend, okay, Bailey, I'm going to go ahead and head your way. Take your time. I'm just sad without Evelyn, knowing what Ethan's done. And I hate going home, seeing her stuff there, but not her. You know? Sure. Yeah. Guess where she was? Very likely in that trash can. Maybe in the playhouse already. I would think so, but you never know. Did she move that trash can? Where was she? But there she's admitting, yep, it's sad. Look what Ethan's done. Ethan didn't do a damn thing to Evelyn, okay? He was in the military. He's not even the father. He must have had to process that because it sounds to me like for a while he thought he was. Wow. Okay, so carry on.
Got out of the shower, but I need to get dressed and everything.
Okay, and what does Megan say?
It'll be a second before I'm there. Like I said, take your time. I'm just avoiding going home. Like I was fine before. It just hurts knowing I can't see her than having to look at her stuff.
Okay. And then about 10 minutes later, what does she say to you?
Yeah, Birch is here.
Okay, and then what do you say?
I'm sorry, I'm about to be ready.
Okay. Prior to this text conversation, had she told you where Evelyn was? Other than what we just talked, has it changed at all?
During that time, all of it kind of morphs together, so I can't say for sure. But during that time, it was around the time that she said that Ethan had gotten emergency custody.
Okay. Did she say when she was going to be able to see Evelyn again?
She said that the court date was going to be in January of 2020.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're still getting ready while she's waiting for you. And then at 1:31 p.m., what does she say in response to you?
It's okay, take your time. Like I said, it's better than me being home.
Before we go further on that, did she ever indicate, other than what she said about not wanting to be there, about why she didn't want to be home at that time?
That was around the time that she was saying that she didn't want to see Evelyn's stuff because it made her sad.
Okay. Okay, so on December 14th at 8:09 p.m., what does Megan say to you?
I'm getting a hotel tonight. I don't want to go home. Would you stay with me tonight?
And then what do you say?
Can you not spend the night with Hunter?
And what does Megan say?
I just don't want to right now. Long story.
Okay.
Interesting. What's the long story? Do tell. Now you don't want to stay with Hunter? Long story? Weird.
And then at 8:31 p.m., what does she say to you? Continuing essentially the same conversation.
Hunter is sweet and all, but I'm upset over Evelyn, and I just don't want to be all lovey and happy right now.
And then what do you say?
Yeah, I understand that you were happy to see him, but was it too much? What hotel are you at?
And what does Megan say?
I was excited to see him, but now I'm just not in the mood.
And you'd asked her which hotel she was at, and what did she say?
The Canal Lodge.
Okay. And then did she say, just read us the last two messages if you don't mind.
Well, right now he started hugging me and stuff, and I just have a lot on my mind. I don't want to be all like I think I upset him when I left, but I didn't mean to.
Okay. Okay. And did you, in fact, go to the Econo Lodge that night with Megan?
Yeah, we went there and spent the night with each other.
Okay. And how was she behaving that night?
Just kind of tired and dissociated. As soon as we got there, she pretty much just went to sleep.
Okay. You said dissociated. What do you mean by that?
Just normally, it's very talkative and, carrying conversation, but that time it was just kind of she didn't really say much, and then she just kind of went to bed, and then I stayed up a little bit later.
Okay. Did she seem upset?
Not upset, tired and kind of out of it.
Okay. Was she crying?
No.
Okay. Did she seem worried?
No.
Did she seem scared?
No.
Okay. How long do you think you hung out that night?
Not long. We went to sleep pretty much not too far after getting there.
Okay. Did that surprise you?
Yeah.
And why did that surprise you?
Like that was like the first time that we ever like spent the night with each other, so I was kind of expecting us to, hang out, but she just kind of went to sleep shortly after we got there.
Okay. And then the next morning, did you talk at all that next morning?
Yeah, she got us pals, and then we quickly separated after we woke up.
Okay. Did she tell you what she was going to be doing that day?
She said that she was going to go hang out with Hunter.
Did she mention Evelyn that morning?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
I hereby speculate it was the other way around. That, and again, disclaimer, I'm speculating. My interpretation, my guess, is that Megan got rid of her child and then thought, woo, I'm free, Hunter, let's be together. And she was trying to get all lovey-dovey, and he wasn't really returning that. He wasn't really. So she got upset with the rejection and went to her lodge or whatever for the night. And then next morning she's there again on Hunter's doorstep, like, hello, it's me again. That's very, very sad. That's what it sounds like happened. Let me know if you think so too, or what do you think happened?
I'm going to hand you 2 pages. Same thing, just take a look and see if you can identify it. Permission to publish. So this is the next day, is that right, from the conversation we just looked at?
Yes.
Okay. And what does Megan say to you at 5:26 p.m.?
Do you want to get dinner with me?
And what does she say next?
I want Olive Garden.
Okay. And then you respond to her, and then who does she say she's with at 5:31 p.m.?
I'm with Hunter right now.
Okay. And then she sends you one more message that date at 5:35. What does she say?
I'll let you know when I'm not at Hunter's. My car is at the shack and I'm at his house.
Okay.
I've never been to Olive Garden. We don't have an Olive Garden, but is it fancy or not fancy? When she says, I want Olive Garden, what is it? Is it just like the average restaurant, or I don't know what to read into that, right? I'm just curious.
You approach.
Okay, we'll go to sidebar. I asked Grok, which is the AI man on X, is Olive Garden a fancy restaurant? And it said, if you're looking for a fancy dining experience, you might consider restaurants with Michelin stars. I'm like, gee, thanks. Thank you so much, Grok. Grok is like, it's one way to roast Olive Garden, hey. I've only heard about the breadsticks. So. And then That's one long sidebar.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so at this point, Megan's been telling you Evelyn's not been with her for a couple of weeks. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember when Megan moved out of the trailer that she was living in with Evelyn?
I don't remember her directly moving out, but I remember her staying with Hunter.
Okay. How often was she staying with Hunter?
Oh, I couldn't say.
Okay.
As much as she could, right? I'm not snarking at this lady. Be nice to her. I'm snarking at Megan. It was like, how much did she stay there? Yeah, all the time, as much as she could. She was practically peering through his window.
Was she telling you this, or how did you know this?
One time, I think she picked me up from Hunter's, or I picked her up from Hunter's, but I saw her leaving Hunter's, and then she was telling me that she was staying with him and stuff.
Okay. Was she still staying at her trailer, or do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, all right. And do you remember going to Knoxville with Megan in December to visit your friend that had a baby?
Yes.
And what was that friend's name?
Audrey.
Okay. And did you and Megan ride together?
Yeah, we both went together.
Okay. And was Evelyn with you?
No, she wasn't.
Okay. How was Megan acting that day?
Just speculation.
I'm not asking for speculation. I'm asking just how Megan was behaving. Okay. What was her demeanor like?
It seemed kind of all over the place and like erratic. She kept repeating herself and kept saying that she loved us while we were there visiting Audrey.
Okay. Was that how she normally behaved?
No.
You consider that out of character?
Yeah.
So the question is, was she high or feeling guilty? Just like, I love you guys, I love you guys, love you, love you, love you, love you. Yeah, okay, and we know you love Hunter a lot, we get it. Back off, lady. You're being sus. And she was being so sus. Truthfully, me said, did Megan change her last name to Wood? On her Instagram, she was living up that fantasy all the way. I feel like that's probably what made Hunter say, here, take a car and leave me alone. Is that what we're going to hear eventually? I gave her a car, she didn't want to leave me alone. What? I don't know. Sidewalks.
Okay. So on December 23rd at 4:44 p.m., where does Megan say that she is at?
I'm at Ethan's grandparents with him.
Okay. And then what do you say to Megan?
OMG, how's that? You with Evelyn? Are you with Evelyn?
Okay, so you're essentially asking her if Evelyn is with her. Okay, and what does she say?
Yes, and good.
Okay. And then jump to the bottom. You ask her a question at 4:45 p.m. What do you say to her?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
At 4:45 p.m., what do you say to Megan?
So please send pictures of Evelyn. I miss her.
And what does Megan say to you?
I will in a second.
Okay. Did Megan send pictures of Evelyn that day?
No.
Bailey, do you need a minute? Okay. You have water? Okay. There's tissues up there if you need them, okay?
Let's see Megan's reaction, right? Look how many people she hurt. Yes, so if you guys missed that, Amy Matthews says, oh, so she says Evelyn was there? Yes, this was December 23rd at 4:44 p.m. She says she's with Ethan and Ethan's grandparents. And then Bailey says, well, okay, how's that? Is Evelyn there? Yes, and good. Okay, send me a picture of Evelyn because she missed her. Yes, okay, I will in a second. Doesn't send anything. Wow, obviously.
Bailey, do you want to take a break, or do you think you can go on for a few minutes? We can do either one.
One stand, please.
Break.
You may be seated, thank you. Take about 10 minutes or so.
Do you mind if she steps out for a few minutes? Okay, thank you.
Now that the jury's not there, shout something at Megan. Huh? That would be the moment. Anyway. Okay, now we only have like half an hour left. 30 minutes left, everyone. Whenever I say 30 in a South African accent, people think I'm saying 50. 30 minutes left, okay? It's my Tennessee accent.
Let's go ahead and have Ms. Hawkins take it back to school.
We call for it.
Yeah. Where did I? I ended.
Thank you.
So her friend is crying her eyes out on the stand. Megan walks in like, just like no emotion there. It doesn't look like Megan was crying in that break, right? Wow, okay.
All right, is that ready to proceed?
State's ready, Your Honor.
State's ready.
Yes, sir.
The jury's ready.
Megan told you at any time to try to continue?
Yes.
Okay. So we essentially ended before we took a break around December 23rd of 2019. And we talked about that. Did you continue to hang out with Megan after December 23rd of 2020?
I don't remember any like specific dates, but we hung out a lot, so I would assume so.
Okay. Do you remember learning that, do you remember hearing that Evelyn had been reported missing at some point?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to have to speak up, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, yes.
Okay, and how did you learn that Evelyn was missing?
I found it on Facebook.
Okay. Had Megan told you at any time?
No.
Okay.
Oh my word. So we heard from Audrey and we heard from Bailey. Presumably Megan's best friends at the time. And she doesn't tell them that Evelyn was missing. They find out on Facebook. Oh my word.
I'm going to pass you 2 pages. Just take a look at it and let me know if you recognize it.
Yes, I do recognize it.
Okay, can you tell us what it is?
Messages between me and Megan on January 9th, 2020 at 1:55 a.m.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate representation of your conversation with Megan on that date?
Yes.
Okay, we'd like to offer that as exhibit number 78.
Before exhibit 78. Tell me the date again.
January 9th. Permission to publish?
Go ahead.
Let me try to go faster. Okay. So, what question do you ask Megan on January 9th of 2020?
When was your court date with Evelyn? I know you said it was January.
And what does she say?
And tomorrow,
And then what do you say?
where is Evelyn right now? Still with Ethan?
And what does Megan say?
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you say in response?
Also, is Ethan not back doing Army things? I know a lot of people have left for Army stuff already. I just don't understand how he can have custody if he's literally going into the Army.
Okay. And then what does Megan say in response to that?
I don't know. It's retreated. I don't know what he is or isn't doing. He won't speak to me. I talked to him like once on New Year's.
Okay. Is she talking about Ethan?
Yes.
That's your document. And ask if you recognize that.
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
Text message from Megan on January 20th, 2020 at 12:35 a.m.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate representation of that text message that you received from Megan
Yes.
on that date?
Yes.
Your Honor, we'd ask that be made exhibit number 79.
Before exhibit 78.
Thank you. Permission to publish?
Go ahead.
So the date, it's starting to creep closer to when Evelyn was reported missing. That was February 18th. So we're still here January 9th, January 20th, around there. But Megan has been telling lies for a long time based on everything we've seen here.
On January 20th, 2020, what does Megan tell you in this message?
Went to Bowling Rock today.
To Blowing Rock?
Yeah, Bowling Rock, yeah.
Sorry, I'm making you work. Okay. Your Honor, may we approach briefly? Just want to make sure. Pass you 2 pages. Same thing, just take a look and see if you recognize it.
Yeah, I do recognize the text messages.
Okay, and is there a date on those messages?
January 24th, 2020 at 5:51 p.m.
Okay, is that a fair and accurate representation of a conversation with Megan Boswell on that date?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, we'd ask that be made exhibit number 80 for the date of January 24th, 2020. Okay. Permission to publish, Your Honor?
We have, what, 25 minutes left? Even 20 minutes left.
What does Megan say to you at 5:51 on January 24th, 2020?
I have big news. Me and Hunter may or may not be expecting a small human. We are. It just sounded more mysterious.
Okay, and then what do you say?
No, you're not. Oh my word, she was so obsessed with Hunter that she faked a whole pregnancy after, now I'm speculating, murdering her child to be with Hunter. You see what I'm saying there? Oh my word. She's telling her friends, we may or may not be expecting. What? But they weren't.
To Megan.
Speaking of small humans, how's Evelyn doing? I know you said you get to keep her every other week.
And then what does Megan say in response?
She's good. Mean as fuck, though.
Okay. And then what do you say to Megan?
I want to see her. When's the next time you'll have her?
And what does she say?
I'm picking her up next Monday after my appointment.
And then what does she say to you at 6:02 p.m.?
I'll fight Hunter if it's a girl because I want a little boy so bad.
And then what do you say in response?
A little boy would be nice because then you'd have both.
Lolly, you're like, or may not be. Yeah, that one. May or may not be. Not. The not. Yeah, that one.
Same thing. Take a look at this and let me know if you recognize it.
Yeah, I do recognize it.
Okay, what is it?
Text messages between me and Megan on January 29th, 2020 at 1:59 a.m.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate representation of your messages with Megan on that date?
Yes.
Your Honor, we'd ask that be made exhibit number 81. Permission to publish. What do you ask Megan on January 29th, 2020?
Do you still have Evelyn?
And what is her response?
My grandma does right now because my mom's sick and stuff. I didn't want to bring her around.
Okay, and what do you say in response?
Will you have Evelyn with you? I really miss her little baby face. I bet she's grown so much since I haven't seen her in like a month.
And then what does Megan say?
Yes.
The last time Evelyn was seen alive, according to the state, according to the opening statements, was December 6th. Not 26th, not 10th, not 11th. That was media reports before. Megan said 26th, but the state says the last time Evelyn was seen alive was December 6th of 2019.
January 2020. Have you seen Evelyn at all during the month of January?
No.
Did you see Evelyn at all during the month of December of 2019?
No.
Okay. How are you feeling at this point? In January 2020, how are you feeling?
Object the relevance.
So for those
Okay.
asking, Evelyn was born on November 21st of 2018. So if you want to, catch up on all these details that we'd gone over, even the detail here with the car, that's Hunter, by the way. There's a picture of Hunter. Yes. It reminds me of a little bit of that. Remember we watched the Laurie Shaver trial together? What is that guy's name? Jeremy. And she was like so obsessed with, oh my word. If you didn't see the Laurie Shaver trial, yeah, you could check that one out as well. But there's Hunter. There's a picture of Hunter and Megan. You see right on top there. Okay, so let's keep going here.
I'm going to ask it in a different way, okay? You haven't seen Evelyn in about 2 months at this point, is that right?
Yeah.
Are you getting worried?
Yeah.
Tell me in your own words why you were getting worried.
Just everything was starting to add up, not seeing the pictures, her being wishy-washy on having Evelyn, and then it just kind of, everything was starting to feel off.
Okay. You say no pictures. What do you mean by that? Were you seeing pictures before?
I mean, it was just she was posting pictures and everything, so you'd obviously see the pictures.
Okay. When you say she was posting pictures, where would you see pictures posted?
Facebook.
Okay. Did that stop at some point?
I don't remember specifics, but I mean, during that time, I obviously didn't see anything.
Okay. Was she continuing to talk about Evelyn?
It seemed like the only time that we would talk about her is when I would ask.
Okay. Did you consider calling DCS?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you not call?
She was such a good friend to me that I didn't want to do that to her. Like, I've gone through similar situations and I know how it affected me, and I didn't want to do that to her.
Okay. Did you continue to try to press her about where Evelyn was?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes?
Yeah.
What did she tell you?
I mean, it was always an answer. It was either with Ethan or Ethan's grandparents or there was always an answer.
Okay. Ask you one more document. 5 pages.
I recognize these.
Okay. Can you tell us what it is?
We've got like 15 minutes left, if that. And then I'm going to show you Hunter's interview again, okay?
Text messages on February 22nd, 2020 at 2:46 a.m.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of a conversation you had with Megan on February 22nd of 2020?
Yes.
We'd ask that to be made exhibit number 82. Then, would these messages have occurred after you found out that Evelyn was missing?
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Okay. What do you say to Megan at 2:46 a.m. on February 22nd?
I just got out of control. Why did you tell me Ethan had her if she's sick? If he's sick, he still hasn't seen her since December. Why are you bringing it back to that one? I've been crying to see you. If whoever you said has her in that interview, I hope they bring her back and everything.
Okay. So you said,
Oh, imagine all the friends watching her interviews with the media and all that crap she was selling. Yeah, babysit it. Meanwhile, she'd been telling them all sorts of other stories. Now suddenly she's telling the media a babysitter and a silver camper in Virginia and my mother and then Ethan and all of that. Wow.
I'll try to help you a little bit, okay? You said to her, if whoever you said has her in that interview, I hope they bring her back and everything. And then, can you tell me what Megan says in response?
Me too. I just couldn't tell anyone because I was worried the person might run or harm Evelyn or someone else in my family.
Okay. And then you say, I'm just so confused about everything and I don't know what to believe. So just please tell me the truth and be upfront with it because I love Evelyn and as much as you do. And I feel like I deserve the truth. I know you felt you needed to lie to keep Evelyn safe, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. And what does Megan say in response?
If I could tell you anything, I could, but I was told not to. As soon as I can talk, I promise you'll be the first person I come to.
That conversation continues. You ask her, do you think Evelyn is okay, or do you think this person would do something to harm her? I hate not knowing anything because I'm so worried and my mind just goes to the worst. You say, God, that makes me worried because it seems like she's the person that would have had Evelyn. And who are you talking about there? Or do you know?
I'm not too sure.
Okay. If she doesn't have her, then where would she be? I'm hoping the person isn't your mom because I just don't get why she'd take Evelyn and wouldn't let you see her because I never saw her. And then you say, are you and Hunter okay? Because everything he's saying to the news is false. And what does Megan say?
What do you mean everything he's saying to the news? He's kind of got threats to the business and everything.
And then he said...
Okay, sorry. I was a little distracted because people are saying the sound is cutting out. Just refresh, okay? I just want to go back to that previous slide. Damn it. Okay, wait, let's play it from here.
So worried and my mind just goes to the worst.
Okay. Let's see what this is. Okay, so Bailey said, do you think Evelyn is okay? Or do you think this person would do something to harm her? I hate not knowing anything because I'm so worried and my mind just goes to the worst. God, that makes me worried because it seems like she's the person that would have had Evelyn, and if doesn't have her, then where would she be? I'm hoping the person isn't your mom because I just don't get why she'd take Evelyn and wouldn't let you see her because I never saw her. Are you and Hunter okay? Because everything he's saying to the news is false. What? Everything that he's saying to the news said if false, but maybe is false. Wow, okay. So Megan said, WIM, everything he's saying to the news, he kind of got threats to the business and everything. Oh my word. So she's saying that everything that Hunter is saying to the news, yeah, no, he's just lying because his business got threatened. Oh no.
You say, God, that makes me worried because it seems like she's the person that would have had Evelyn. And who are you talking about there? Or do you know?
I'm not too sure.
Okay. If she doesn't have her, then where would she be? I'm hoping the person isn't your mom because I just don't get why she'd take Evelyn and wouldn't let you see her because I never saw her. And then you say, are you and Hunter okay? Because everything he's saying to the news is false. And what does Megan say?
What do you mean everything he's saying to the news? He's kind of got threats to the business and everything.
And then he said y'all weren't serious and that you guys were on and off. You never told me you guys were on and off, and I thought you guys were pretty serious. And what does Megan say?
We were definitely living together and shit, but he did that so people would stop giving him death threats or whatever.
Okay. And you say, are you guys okay though? Is he being a support to you through this, or are you guys not in contact right now? And what does Megan say?
No, we've talked.
Okay. And then you say, I hope everything is okay between the two of you since you've been through a lot, and this is a lot. Then you ask her, did he, are you talking about Hunter?
Yes.
Ever see Evelyn? I know at the beginning he never saw her because you wouldn't let him, but after that, did he ever get to meet her? You never told me. And what does Megan say?
I'm not getting into that for Hunter's sake.
Oh my word. Her answer, when her friend now is pressing for, excuse me, did he ever see Evelyn? Because he's telling the news he never met Evelyn. He only saw pictures. Did he ever see Evelyn? I know at the beginning he never saw her because you wouldn't let him. But after that, did he ever get to meet her? You never told me. And then Megan says, I'm not getting into that for Hunter's sake. Oh, wow.
And then you ask, when is the last time you saw Evelyn? And what does Megan say?
I can't disclose that either.
Wow.
Okay. And you say the police are saying that the babysitter saw her last on December 10th. Did you see her on the 26th, like in the original Amber Alert? And what does Megan, let me make that smaller. What does Megan say?
I can't disclose that.
Okay.
Imagine talking to your friends like that. I can't disclose that. But then on the media, it's like, yeah, I know exactly where she is. And if the TBI doesn't do their job, I'm going to go there and get her myself. But then to a friend, she's like, no, I can't disclose that.
Did Megan ever tell you anything different other than the things we've already talked about? The other things she told you about where Evelyn was. Did she ever tell you anyone else had Evelyn?
No.
Okay. Did you ever ask her about her mom?
Yes, on February 22nd, we ended up hanging out that day, and she told me that Evelyn was with her mom.
Okay. Did she act concerned about that at all?
Not really.
Okay. Was she worried for Evelyn?
I mean, at that point, I just was kind of in my own head about everything, so it was kind of hard to tell what she was feeling because I was just kind of, everything was too much at that point, so it's hard to say.
Okay. Well, I'm asking specifically about when she said Angela, her mom, or Angel, had Evelyn. Did she seem to be scared for Evelyn's safety?
I mean, I don't guess so.
Okay. So the last thing I'm going to hand you, okay? I know this is a lot. Okay. You just mentioned the date of February 22nd, 2020. Did you see Megan in person that day?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recognize what I've just handed you?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
It's a receipt from when we stayed at, or no, not when we stayed at Echo Lodge yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it is. Okay, it's on February 22nd when I dropped her off at Echo Lodge.
Okay. So you're saying you dropped her off at the Econo Lodge?
Yeah.
Is that the one on Airport Highway?
Yes.
Okay. And whose signature is on that receipt?
Mine.
Okay. So did you, for lack of a better term, did you get a room, you pay for a room for Megan for that night at the Econo Lodge?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to read off of that as exhibit number 83.
That reminds me of the Adam Montgomery trial and the case of Harmony Renee. There was also an Econo Lodge in that sad story.
Full exhibit 83.
I don't need that one. I don't need it. Okay. Do you remember why you got a ring for Megan that night?
She said that with everything going on, she just wanted to get away.
Okay. Did you stay there with her that night, or did she stay there alone? Or,
No, I didn't stay with her. I just dropped her off.
okay. All right. Please answer any questions the defense attorney has for you, okay?
No, maybe approach.
Okay, a little more sidebar. And then,
Express media.
ooh,
Going on, she just wanted to get away.
Okay. Did you stay there with her that night?
There's not much. I can't skip much here. Let's just go to there. Stand by, everyone. After this, we're quickly going to look at Hunter's media statements. Watch his little interview.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stop for today. I have to give you certain admonitions every time we end the proceeding for the day. You're not to communicate with other jurors or anyone else regarding any subject connected with the trial. You're not to form or express any opinion about this case until it's finally submitted to you. You're to report promptly to the court any incident involving an attempt by any person to improperly influence any jury member or a juror's violation of the court's admonitions. You're not to read, watch, or listen to any news reports concerning this case. And you're to decide this case solely on the evidence introduced in the trial. We'll go with the officer.
One stand, please. You may be seated, thank you.
All right. Ms. Hawkins, you'll have to come back tomorrow. We'll start at 9 o'clock. Do not discuss your testimony with any other witness or allow any witness to discuss their testimony with you. I'm going to ask that you not watch any of the live stream that replay today's.
Shame. She'll have to come back for cross-examination tomorrow. They will be court tomorrow and on Saturday. I hope you guys are ready. Better wash your court pajamas. We say pajamas. Wash your court pajamas. Because we're having court on the weekend.
So the record is clear. I didn't want to say this necessarily in front of you. Exhibit 69, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, and 82 were entered as full exhibits over the objection defense. Their objection is noted for
Get those numbers again. I'll write that down.
69, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, and 82. We'll be in recess till the case, the jury till 9. We'll be back here at 8:30 in the morning.
So have the witness come back at 9 to be ready at
Yeah,
9?
the witness come back. I think that's what I told her.
Okay.
Was. Court stands in recess.
Okay. Just hang in there because we're going to do two things. One, we're going to watch Hunter's interview quickly. Let's just see. Okay, there's nothing else happening here. So stand by quickly here. Okay, that's number one. And if your brain is like mine, you say, what's number two? Number two is we're going to teleport after that to day 3. So let's bring this up here. Check it out. Hunter, the one that Megan is so obsessed with.
With the family, and I spoke with one man who says he has nothing to do with the disappearance of 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell.
I've never seen the baby in my life.
Hunter Wood says he briefly dated Evelyn.
There he is.
Evelyn's mother, Megan Boswell.
She applied for a job at my restaurant, Under T's Chicken Shack, and it wasn't like a relationship. It was an on and off going, you know what I'm saying, type deal.
Oh my. She applied for a job at his chicken shop, and he's like, it wasn't like a relationship. It was like a on and off type deal. He never met Evelyn. Somebody, I couldn't see it now, I'm so sorry, but somebody, I saw the question, I just can't see who asked it. Someone asked, what time did the court end in real time? It was at 5:15 Eastern time. Yes, today.
It wasn't like an all-out, like, you know, relationship.
He says he's known Megan Boswell for about 2 months and never saw baby Evelyn.
All I've seen is pictures of her. I have no relationship with that child whatsoever.
He says he's received threats over the internet, causing him to shut down his restaurant's Facebook page.
To my knowledge, the entire time that I've known Maggie, I've never seen the baby, of course, but as well as the baby has been with the father, you know, back from military leave. And that is all that I've known about the child.
He wants the focus to be on finding the child and not on him and his business.
There's been a bunch of stuff said about, you know what I'm saying, my restaurant, Under T's Chicken Shack, things negative towards, you know what I'm saying, to try to stir away the main key factor of us just trying to operate.
The Sullivan County Sheriff's Office is working with the TBI to find baby Evelyn, who was reportedly last seen around December 26th.
In some aspects, the span of time that has gone by makes this a little difficult, but we are working it just as if no time has passed. Our primary function, or our primary goal in this is to find this child.
Captain Andy Seabolt with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office says the mother and father of the child have been cooperating with officials.
Oh, okay, except that wasn't the father. Sadly, Megan lied about that too. So that was Hunter, everyone. Did that sound so serious, like they were moving in and, Megan was living a fantasy in her head. In my opinion, she got rid of Evelyn thinking, ooh, I'm going to be with this guy. And they know, he doesn't want to be with you anyway. Just from what I'm gathering. All right, everyone, are we ready to teleport? Now, firstly, just hang in there. You can click on this already if you want to, and you can race us all there. Wait, it'll be for day 3, okay? So go day 3 here. I still got to do timestamps for both streams today. So yes. Okay, let me just see what is going on here. Okay, I just see a comment. I'm like, what? All right, so we're going to teleport now, which means that I'm going to play the outro. When it's finished playing, you should be automatically redirected to the next stream, which is tomorrow's day 3. We always start about 2 hours after the court feeds, and I always monitor if I need to delay it a little more because we want to defluff, of course. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Southern Cali B. You said you're just the best, G. Thank you and your mods for all you do. I have some catching up to do today. I didn't know we were working overtime. Yeah, today we worked overtime, and tomorrow we'll continue. So have a wonderful, whatever time it is for you, evening. For me, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I can hear Sunny Slaughter saying, you go to bed. But first, timestamps. And then I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Bye.